Now let's talk about the opposition New Patriotic Party's flag bearer race, because the NPP has officially opened nominations for persons seeking that high office. Today we engage Kwasi Kwarteng. He speaks for Kennedy in Agyapong, who is also gunning for that particular role. And the NPP says, now if you want to run, you need to pay about 600,000 Ghana cedis for that. Kwasi, good morning to you.
Good morning, Kwajo. How are you?
I'm good. Yourself?
I'm fine.
How's the opposition treating you?
Oh, I mean, it's just a phase.
Okay.
When you engage in this enterprise, i.e. politics, certainly you know that there's a time for everything. There's a time where you come to office. There's also a time where you be in opposition.
Okay.
The only thing is that you find something doing.
Okay.
I mean, for somebody like me, I'm a lawyer by profession. So by the grace of God, at least I get one or two cases and do. And of course, I mean, it's also an opportunity to also add more value to yourself. And also for the political party as a whole, you also have to retreat, re-strategize, rebrand yourself, regroup, and come back stronger. So, I mean, it's a balancing act, a well-balanced aggregation of accepting the reality, rebranding yourself, regrouping, re-strategizing, and coming out stronger. I mean, certainly, no party will be in power for forever. So far, we are cool.
You say you need to accept the reality. What is your reality?
I mean, the reality is that now we are in opposition. There's no two ways about that. We are in opposition. And the reality is also that as at now, we are trying to rebrand the party. It is in no dispute that in terms of the attraction level of the party compared to the NDC as at now, we seemingly are not very attractive as compared to the NDC. And it's very natural and synonymous with parties in opposition. When you are in government, people tend to associate more with you.
Success has many friends.
Success has many people.
Is that what you say?
Yes. But I mean,
is it what it is, or it is the fact that people compare governance? I mean, the 6-7 months of the NDC to the 8 years of the NPP, and feel that the NDC is giving Ghanaians a better service than what you did.
I think what they have as at now is the goodwill.
Okay.
Of Ghanaians, and as at now, even Ghanaians are so unhappy with the NPP because they had, you see, averagely to the ordinary Ghanaian, they hold the NPP to a higher standard than the NDC. So when you come and the expectations are unmet, you realize that people become a bit disappointed. That is what is happening now. If you talk about this goodwill, Mr. Akufo-Addo had it for the first 4 years. His own continuously was about first 4 years. To the extent that even when we were going for the 2020 election, people said, oh, Nana de na appointees na day amwano, to which Nana has done better, but there's some of his appointees that may have disappointed him one or the other. President Akufo-Addo enjoyed goodwill for the first 4 years. If you recall, when you talk about this taxing regime that then they scrapped taxes, President Akufo-Addo in his first budget statement scrapped about 17 taxes compared to about 4 that these guys have scrapped. So it's very natural when change comes, and it's very synonymous when change comes. At every point when there is change, people tend to give some reasonable fiscal space or some goodwill to the incumbent, because ordinarily you, the opposition, they rejected you. So I mean, such comparison to me is neither here nor there. There is no way you'll be able to compare 7 months. You can compare President Akufo-Addo's 7 months with President Mahama's 7 months, 4 years with President Mahama's 4 years. We don't expect the NDC to fail. We can only wish them the best, because at the end of the day, ultimately, Ghana needs to develop, Ghana needs to grow, Ghana needs to progress. The Ghanaian dream that Ghanaians have to live, just like people are living the American dream, we also have to be able to live the Ghanaian dream in our own country, where young people will get up and will not queue for jobs, where young people will get jobs and a government will come into power and say that because of, I suspect you are affiliated to Party A or Party B or Party C, and on that basis, I'm dismissing you or taking that job from you. I just saw a video of politics of slash and burn, where McDonald's property was broken down. I mean, people are trying to equalize that. Some years ago, he also did same to the Yoko, what's the name?
The former journalist.
But the current Yoko boss.
Yes,
so
yes.
people are
Raymond Archer.
So people are trying to equalize. For me, we need to grow from that. We need to get to a phase where the businessman will be so comfortable in investing in his own country. And that is, for me, the level that we ultimately have to get to as a people. And, of course, It comes with growth, it comes with process. I mean, ultimately, we'll get there.
But you earlier spoke about regrouping and rebranding. Are you rebranding as MPP? What you're doing, are you rebranding?
Exactly and precisely so. If you look at even recently, you see, ultimately, as a political party, you can only learn and be better. And even beyond political party, even as an individual level, you can only learn and improve. You improve on the past, you learn from the past, and based on that, you make decisions that shape the future. If you, for instance, look at recently, the last conference that we had, it was geared towards making reforms that will make the party look, once again, very attractive. Reforms that will increase participation. As of now, if you look at our electoral college, even from the presidential election, which is out, and of course, the other elections that will be conducted subsequently, you realize that we've increased the electoral college. It's also part of the process of learning. It's also part of growth. It's also part of progress. If you recall, previously, we used to have superdelegates elections, where if the candidates that are filed for, or that are filed to contest for flag bearership, they are more than 5, we may have to go for a superdelegate conference or congress and then slash it. This time around, we are not doing the same thing because learning from the past, the animosity, the financial implications that they involve, we've also progressed from that. So yes, there are a lot of things that we are doing in terms of the expansion, in terms of the superdelegates, for instance, that I just spoke about, and other many reforms. The last time we tabled about 56 reforms, and I think 54 went through, were successful.
Yes. Two were rejected.
Yeah. So bottom line is that we want to build a party anchored on unity and peace. And of course, when you are united and there is space within the party, that is where you have the formidable force. That is where you have the strength to go for all future elections. Ultimately, I've always maintained that the whole priority of a political party is to win power. I've always insisted that no matter how rich your ideas are, if you do not have political power, those ideas will be obsolete, and that will just settle on it. So most importantly, yes, we are rebranding, we are regrouping, we are re-strategizing, and it's also a way of building consensus and, I mean, symbolically telling the ordinary Ghanaian that yes, you rejected us in a way, we've reflected, we've taken a very deep reflection. We are trying to regroup. We are trying to make our party once again quite lucrative, so that at the end of the day, we will be very marketable and sellable. As at now, if you want to compare the MPP to the NDC, look at even what President Mahama has done, giving young people a lot of opportunity to serve in his government. Yeah. People that worked for him openly. These are people that have had the opportunity to work in his government or serve in his government, compared to us, where a lot of the youth, a lot of the grassroots felt that the party, as and when we were in power, did not give them enough opportunity, or we did not really meet their expectations fully. I mean, certainly they wouldn't be this. If you compare that to what is happening in President Mahama's era and to our case, certainly there are quite, differences. But ultimately, you can only learn from the good practice all over, whether it's what the NDC is doing, whether upon further reflection. At the end of the day, most important is that when we are able to build a very strong party, we will come together once again, and I'm very confident that 2028, when we come together, we should be able to win.
But when the President Mahama is enjoying goodwill, and he's doing things that Ghanaians, today if you go and do a survey to look at acceptance of the government, you see that the government will have a high number. Yeah. And the NPP, on the other hand, is trading sort of, insult amongst yourselves. Are you rebranding for real?
You see, I mean, any government having the goodwill of the party is very natural, especially in your first year, second year in office. Because the people have to repose a certain confidence in you.
But you're in a position that the government is waiting, you are fighting.
It takes time to diminish. I disagree with the assertion that the opposition is fighting. I would say that is a phase that we are going through, where we may ultimately disagree to agree. MPP, unlike maybe other party or unlike the NDC, we are a party of rule of law. We believe in participation. We believe in democracy. And one of our fundamental principles is to the effect that you are able to even question the status quo as a member of the party. NEC can make a decision and you can still make your voice heard. But ultimately, you still have to align with the decision of NEC, you still have to align with the decision of National Council. I mean, we are a party of intellectuals, and it's synonymous with intellectuals. They give platforms for people to express their diverse opinions and diverse views. That is what is happening now. Of course, I agree that at some point...
Those diverse opinions, when they are... I mean, they are... I don't want to say innuendos. But when those opinions have in them some sort of slander against each other, I mean, is that an opinion that you encourage?
That's what I'm saying, that is a phase that we are going through. As at now, people have still not recovered from the shock of the election. Okay. Others are transiting and recovering. Others also believe that I mean, looking at the reality of how we lost, ordinarily, and it's natural that there will be blame games, there will be blames here and there, this person caused it, that person caused it. It's a phase that any political party goes through. If you recall, when the NDC lost the last election, people made a lot of innuendos and casted aspersions that the presidential candidate was a wrong candidate, it was a wrong choice. People accused groupings within the NDC that they are the cause of the loss. Even to some, to a larger extent, the founder's wife at some point even broke away from the party. You recall, there have been precedents where Mr. Gusitano, all of them has broken away from the party. For me, it's part of the growth that political parties go through. It's part of the processes of the democracy, where at the end of the day, the most important variable is that in spite of all the challenges, in spite of all the tussle going around, ultimately, you still have one focus. And the focus, whichever way, is to be united as a party, come together, build on a very strong foundations. And at the end of the day, I'm very confident that with any party, if you have unity, if there is peace in the party, if the party is built on the strong foundations and pillars of unity, ultimately, I'm very confident that such a party is going to win. So, for me, yes, I wouldn't be dismissive of that, about the fact that, I mean, at some point, some form of innuendo, some form of casting aspersions, some form of languages that may be hostile, is natural. It happens. Okay. But I am very confident that at the end of the day, we'll still come together as one united force and win 2028. For me, that's the most important thing.
So far, 6 names have popped up.
Yes.
Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, Kennedy Agyapong, whom you represent, Brian Agyapong, Boakye Agyapong, engineer Kwasi Kwarteng, yes, and your former boss, Dr. But people wonder, why didn't you go with your former boss?
But my former boss was also with Dr. Bawumia. Why didn't you also go with him? You see, that for me is the beauty of democracy. Okay. Where at the end of the day, like I indicated, you disagree to agree. I do not doubt the competence and eligibility of these individuals. All of them are extremely eligible, they are extremely competent, they can do their work. But within the space of time and within the context of the conversation, especially if it has to do with 2028, I'm of the view that Kennedy Agyapong has more and strong appeal.
Why do you
to
think
the ordinary Ghanaian. I mean, you can do a random test. Just take your cameras outside. You enter churches, you enter mosques, you enter the markets, you enter schools, and you realize one language being spoken by the ordinary Ghanaian, that if you bring Kennedy Agyapong, will vote. More than Kennedy Agyapong by a better. You see, people identifies him and they know him for his strong connection with the grassroots. I think in recent time, Mr. Chief tried to dispute that, but I mean, the evidence speaks for itself.
Which evidence?
His strong connection with the grassroots, how he stood for the grassroots. I mean, in terms of his philanthropic job, where it's mostly directed to, is to the ordinary Ghanaian, is to the ordinary party person. And so, I mean, consistently, when you become so consistent with such approach, ordinarily the party grassroots tends to like it. And of course, I mean, the Ghanaians trust him, if you ask me. He's built for himself a track record of honesty, discipline, patriotism. And these are the trademark of every great leader that, if you ask me, Ghanaians are looking for, especially at the dispensation like this.
Have these traits you mentioned?
I mean, just like any character trait, people have their strengths, people have their shortcomings. Obviously, some strengths will outweigh others. For instance, if you look at Dr. Bawumia, people may associate him with a form of humility, right? Kennedy Agyapong may not necessarily I mean, at the general level, be associated with humility, but everybody knows that Kennedy Agyapong is known for discipline. I mean, he's a no-nonsense person. There are things he will not tolerate. Yes, but it doesn't also negate the fact that he's also humble, but in a humble within a context. So the point is that in terms of character traits, people identify with individual and unique character traits. But what is more profound and what is more dominant is what we talk about. That at a crucial time like this, what Ghanaians are looking for is that person disciplined, that person with that remarkable track record of having even, I mean, the gut to even challenge his own party, that sense of patriotism, that person with that track record of creating jobs, who, even at the individual level, which essentially means that if he has the opportunity and the mandate at a very large level as the president of Ghana, he should be able to, of course, I mean, not to be dismissive about it, he will not be able to solve all our unemployment issue, but within the space that anybody will have, within 4-year, 8-year space that anybody will have as a president of Ghana, within that space, we should be able to nip or at least reduce unemployment to the barest minimum. And of course, I mean, at this point, I always maintained that now leadership is no longer about ideas. If today, you take your phone or your laptop and you Google, give me the best ideas to govern Ghana, even ChatGPT can give it to you.
Oh, but you trust that one than your own ideas?
The point I'm trying to make is that our problems as a people are known, and it's been systemic. It's not like they are new problems. If we ask you randomly, or if you go to any school and ask, let's 100 problems that Ghanaians are going through, it will be about health, it will be about unemployment, it will be about roads, it will be about security. Our problems are known. Yeah. So at the end of the day, we don't need ideas again. We need leadership.
If you know the problems, don't you need ideas to solve those problems?
I am telling you that the ideas are already there. Okay. As of now, the ideas are already there. So you need a soothsayer to tell you that in terms of unemployment, one of the key ways of addressing unemployment is, for instance, agriculture, investing very high in agriculture and making sure that the agriculture chain is very sustainable and heavily invested into. These ideas are there.
But how you do it is what ideas are needed for. We all know that you have to invest in it. But how do you do it?
So the ideas are there. So, I mean, it means you agree with me. So you go beyond the idea, and then it now talks about leadership, implementation. And implementation is what we have been lacking now. That wall, that audacity to say that, well, I mean, these are the laws that I'm going to enforce it. These are the ideas that I'm going to implement it. So you need that person with that track record.
Let's
I'm with you.
You remember the 24-hour economy this government is doing? Was it there? It was an idea they came up with, not so.
Oh, I mean, if you want us to go into 24-hour economy, we may not finish.
No.
That's one of the populist ideas.
I'm just using it as an example.
Yes.
That you need to generate ideas.
Yes.
Backed with leadership to help solve the challenges. So you can't.
So still on this example of the 24-hour economy. I mean, when was it mentioned? Can you give me 2 instances of implementation? So the ideas can be there, but if you don't get the right leadership to implement, the ideas will be obsolete.
I agree with you, but I'm saying that you need ideas. You cannot say.
I am saying that at the end of the day, our problem as a country is not about ideas. The problems, as at now, we've transcended beyond ideas. Go to University of Ghana. There are a lot of theses that propose solutions, or solutions in all spheres. If today we want to solve our unemployment situation, even if you bring 3 professors together, they should be able to give you the best ideas to combat unemployment. If you talk about industrialization, if you talk about the fact that we need to develop technologically, today we are in the 21st industrial evolution, how we need to catch up with all other countries. Everybody knows what to do. But at the end of the day, it has more to do with that practical mindset, the pragmatic leadership. That is what, for me, the pragmatic link is what is missing. It is the more reason why, as of now, we propose here Kennedy Agyapong card to be able to drive implementation of those ideas that we have. It's just like when you go into our laws. Look at laws like sanitation laws. How enforceable are they? Look at laws like road safety laws. Interestingly, it will interest you to know that the most people that flout road safety regulations and road safety laws are even the lawmakers. To the extent that this country, all you need to flout road safety law is to get a Land Cruiser. You get to traffic, you pass, and even if in most cases the police will even salute you. They're only interested in only arresting the Uber drivers. So yes, I mean the laws are there, the ideas are there, the policies are there, but we've gone beyond that. We need practical approach. We need implementation. And let me tell you, the problems of Ghana, addressing the problems of Ghana only requires the common sense approach. And for me, that is where Kennedy Agyapong comes in, the common sense approach in addressing the peculiar problems that confronts the average Ghanaian. So that, like I said, the Ghanaian dream, just like people are living the UK dream, just like people are living the American dream, it can also be realized in our own country.
And you're saying that if you look at engineer Kwasi Kwarteng, he doesn't have it. You look at your own former boss, Dr. Osei Aduchum, doesn't have it. The former vice president, Dr. Bawumia, they do not have it. It's only Kennedy that has it.
No, I don't think it's a matter of who has it and who do not have it. It's a matter of who stands tall.
Okay.
And,
all right.
And especially
Kennedy stands
tall, and especially who is winnable.
Okay.
Especially in the 2028 election. Like I told you, these ideas, no matter how great they are, if you do not win political power, it's just like having an iPhone with no internet. It becomes like an ordinary phone, like a yam. So you need the political power. And I'm saying that within the current conversation, within the current context, within the current circumstance, if there is anybody that has proven that he's marketable and that Ghanaians are craving for him. You see, 2028 is not really about even political parties, because at the end of the day, NDC, for instance, is presenting a new candidate. Yeah. I mean, no two ways about that. MPP too, we, as part of, in the spirit of revival, we also need that fresh face. Because, I mean, after 16 years of Nanado, Dr. Bawumia, in the spirit of revival, I am of the view that a lot of party people, that's like-minded party people, believe that we also need a fresh face.
But so, you did J. Kufuor
yes.
2 times.
Yes.
You did Nana Akufo-Addo. Nana Akufo-Addo was 2008, 2012. Also 2 times, right?
Nana Akufo-Addo, yes, I mean, even one on his, is it
2008,
2012, and then 2016.
And then he won 2016.
Yeah.
So you gave him 3 times,
yes.
And he won on the 3rd.
Yes.
Why do you think that for Dr. Bawumia there he should only go once?
I think there is
try it again.
I think there is a history to that.
Okay.
And the history is that in MPP, before you are given the opportunity to go on the 2nd or 3rd time, there is a caveat. And the caveat is benchmarked on performance.
Okay.
The performance in the general election. I'll give you one instance. For instance, Professor Dubois.
Okay.
You know, Professor Dubois' performance, even compared to our last election, was better. Professor Dubois, at the time where we were transiting from the military era, where we were voting in opaque ballot boxes, there was no openness, there was no transparency, even in spite of all these things. Do you know Professor Dubois only lost with 1.18 million votes difference?
Okay.
Compared to 1.7 million votes difference, it's huge. That's about 600,000.
The Professor Dubois lost at
1.18 million votes difference. I mean, and looking at the circumstances that were prevailing then, okay. Even with that, the party people did not give him a second chance.
Okay.
Because to them, they felt that, I mean, the whole variable is premised on performance. And for that matter, he did not perform. And so they presented President Kufuor. President Kufuor barely had about 3 or 4 months to campaign. Even in spite of that, he pulled 39%. And interestingly, the nominal figures that the President Kufuor pulled is still better than what we witnessed in our last election.
What are you saying? Kufuor pulled 2.8 million.
Compared to?
How many?
No, I'm saying that. So the point I'm trying to make is that in the history of our political dispensation, our political practice, this is the gravest loss that any political party has ever suffered. So it presupposes that even Kufuor did better than this. Forget about the percentage. You see,
I'm not looking at the percentage.
Yes, exactly. So in terms of that's why I say even in terms of the nominal figures, President Kufuor even still did well. And again, the context is also very important. President Kufuor.
How many votes did Bawumia pull in the last election?
No, he pulled around 4 something. But yes. the vote difference is 1.7 million votes difference. Yes, I
get it. But if you're talking about figures, I'm saying that Kufuor pulled 2.8 million.
No, it's not about what you pulled. But at the end of the day, how many people also voted? That's also the most important question. That's why I said you have to look at the difference, the loss. The difference, I'm saying that Kufuor's difference was still better than what Dr. Bawumia pulled. Why do you want to blame it all
on one individual, Dr. Bawumia?
It has nothing to do with him. You brought that
argument.
I'm coming.
I brought the question up.
You brought the question up, and I'll give you the proper history. That in the history of the MPP, every person that has been given the opportunity to go on a second occasion was caveated on performance. And I was giving you the figures that in our history, this is the worst performance that we've ever witnessed. At the end of the day, I cannot decide for the over 200,000 delegates. But I'm saying that if you are to go by and you are to be guided by the same history that you borrowed, in the case of Professor Dubois, in the case of President Kufuor, and even in the case of Nana Akufo-Addo, Nana Akufo-Addo had never been a former Minister of State. Recall, he had never been a former Vice President before. Yeah. The highest position he had ever occupied was a Minister of State.
Yes.
But remember, even Nana Akufo-Addo, in his first time, he was able to take the party to a runoff, to the extent that he lost by 23,000 votes different. In that case, the party people will feel comfortable that, well, based on the performance that you demonstrated, we can take you.
But are you saying that that election was solely on Akufo-Addo and not on the performance of the government then, the Kufuor government?
Then, per the logic, we should not be having this conversation by introducing the candidates in, because at the end of the day, everything will be brought down onto the government.
No, I'm asking you a question. We're analyzing. And I'm asking that if you look at the performance that Akufo-Addo put up in 2008, are you saying that you are taking away the impact that the Kufuor government would have had on that particular election?
No, but you see, Akufo-Addo's popularity was also very profound, because at the end of the day, they are not voting for the previous government. They are voting for you, the individual, to be their president.
But they are scoring the performance you've had in government also.
I mean, that it can have a persuasive effect. But I'm not sure you went to vote for Dr. Bawumia or John Mahama. Other than that, if that is the logic, John Mahama was not in government. He had left government for the past 8 years. Are you saying that Ghanaians also voted based on his past record in the past 8 years?
Did you listen to Ghanaians? No. When Ghanaians were telling you things are difficult, things are hard, the city is spiraling, the inflation is, even though you had tried to bring it down, but still inflation was high. People were telling you that, no, this is not the sort of governance we're looking for.
That's true.
You're saying that if people say the city was hard, the things were difficult, this is not the governance we're looking for, it means they were scoring you based on what they had experienced.
So these factors and these variables, they are systemic. Are you also suggesting that in President Akufo-Addo's time, when he was contesting, at the time, remember 2008, there was a global economic recession to the extent that the American economy had even run bankrupt. Recall, at that time, Russia, France, all the big nations, literally there was an economic global recession that these big economies America had declared bankruptcy for a lot of their economies. How did President Akufo-Addo also pull the 23,000 different? So the point I want to arrive is that, yes, those factors may be persuasive on the average voter, but at the end of the day, the candidates also count. But that is also not to suggest that, ultimately, we should blame Dr. Bawumia for our loss. No, that will also not be unfair to him. But I agree. Ultimately, he has to take the bigger responsibility because he led us to the election. But the principle I am trying to advance that if we are to go by history and history to guide us, taking into account all variables, all factors that influences election outcome, election results, the precedent is that MPP, before we allowed you to go, the caveat has always been on performance. It is a more reason why even Professor Dubois was not allowed to go. I'm landing.
You are using an outlier.
Well, Professor Dubois is an outlier.
No, but why? The other example you are citing, you have Professor Dubois, you have J. Kufuor, you have Nanado. Two of these three individuals were given double chances.
What was their performance?
No. Who in your party? Who in your party said that they were looking at the performance to say that this person should go? They just felt that let's take the guy there again for him to go and win it. No, not so.
Per this logic.
There's no logic.
Oh, hold on.
I'm just saying that you're using
if it's not logic, if it's not logic and it's a philosophy,
okay.
What essentially means is that all you need to become a flag bearer, go and perform poorly. The next elections, automatically you are guaranteed to go again.
That's not what I'm saying.
I'm landing. But that is the inference. Even if it takes you 5-4 election cycles, go again. Because at the end of the day, in MPP, we'll push you to go again.
I am saying that just why
let me land.
You're choosing an outlier.
No, I gave a history. No, but I'm saying that even with those two others, their performance was good. It was based on that they were given the opportunity to go again.
What the percentage was? What did Kufuor get?
You see,
I'm coming.
Kufuor had 39.
Kufuor had 39. Yes. What did that Bawumia get?
41.
Yes. Is that not a good performance?
Hold on. Now, you see, to have a fair appreciation of their performance, consider the nominal figures and check the votes difference. Okay. In terms of the nominal figures, President Kufuor did well.
Okay.
In terms of the nominal figures, President Kufuor still did well. So don't let the percentage confuse you.
Okay.
You understand? Because the percentage will be based on also the number of people that voted.
Okay.
You get the point. But ultimately, we are not dismissing the fact that former Vice President President Bawumia have the opportunity to go again. I don't know if the delegates give him the nod. Why not? But I'm saying that looking at the history of the party and where we stand now, and how Ghanaians are craving for the grassroots man and change, in the spirit of revival, I am of the view that when we introduce Agyapong, and not only me, the ordinary Ghanaian, especially most of the grassroots, when we introduce Agyapong, we should be able to win the 2028 elections.
Hey. And you are, well, what's the ground saying? The ground. What is it?
Like what I told you. That's why I said that you are a journalist. You can go around with your cameras and interview the ordinary Ghanaian. Okay. And I say this in all humility, because at the end of the day, they have the power. Yeah. The Bible has always maintained that the heart of the king is in the hands of the Lord, and he turneth it where he likes. We will go to them, appeal to them in a very polite and respectful way, and we are very confident that at the end of the day, they are going to give us that. But let me also hasten to add that the party directive has always been very clear. Okay. That as of now, we are unable to campaign. So all our interests, all our focus now is on the Kwetiaba by-elections. Okay. And so we are calling on everybody to also come on board to help.
Kwasi Kwarteng Esquire speaks for Kennedy Ohene Agyapong Camp, who is running to be elected as flag bearer of the MPP. This is the AM show. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back with more, please. Do stay with us.